Yeah. We are back. We are back. We are back with straight knowledge, nothing but it, nothing else. Here's some things that I think we need. We need barbershop talk without the barber sometime. We need to continue these conversations. And, for people that don't go to barbershops, we'll give it to you. So look, man, I got something going on that I really think is kind of the problem with the place that we're in right now as far as adults. When you hear the women say, I'm looking for a good man, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. Well, a lot of that is right, I want to say, to a certain degree. But do you know why this has been the problem for the past 30 to 40 years? So I want to reiterate and have us all think so we can change some patterns about the conspiracy to destroy black boys. Dr. Kwanzaa Kunjufu, he was one of the first people to bring this very plainly to our people back in the 80s. I want to say probably in the late 80s, early 90s. And he did a seminar. He had people there. It was a back and forth question there, but he was breaking down some really key things. And I wanted to piggyback off of just a couple of those things that I still think are prevalent right now, right? Got my brother here with me. He go introduce himself. We talking about the conspiracy to destroy black boys and how it's prevalent right now to the men that they have grown up to be. We gonna talk about the who, the what, the when, and the why. I got my brother here. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and then we go jump right into it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Crow. Crow from the Grow on all social media, all my social media outlets, but for short, everybody just call me Crow. What's going on?
That's what's up, man. So, I want to talk about when a lot of it starts, right? And I remember back in the 80s, and now I know the numbers have doubled. Back in the 80s, it was 1.3 boys born, and it was 1.0 million girls born. Now, 18 years later, it went to just 1 million boys being born and 1.8 million black girls being born. You know what I mean? So the numbers kind of doubled at one particular. Now, if we do the data, it's of course always more females. You know what I mean? It's a higher number of females being born. With that being said, they're already at a disadvantage, just off of numbers and statistics, right? So the competition level with women has always been high from birth. A lot of women, when you talk to them and try to explain just that fact, women don't do good with facts until they look it up in their phones. So I'm thankful that everybody has cell phones. When I have conversations like these, I like to tell them, look it up in your phone, Google this or Bing this, whatever you got, and you see it for yourself so you can look at some statistics. It's not about feelings and emotions, because I get emotional about certain things that you wouldn't understand. So you get emotional about things I don't understand. All I'm looking at is data about it, right? She might be living it or know somebody close to her that's living it, and it's emotional to her because she's looking at it from that view, right? So once we get past the emotional standpoint and they start actually looking at the statistics and the data behind it, and it's like, wow, this is our data now. This is data you could look up. I look up blackdemographics.com when I'm looking up things for black people.
Okay.
It's by black people, and you know what I mean? So it gives me I feel like a little more fair edge, right? Excuse me. If I go to another place, it might be different statistics, but it might be not as accurate because if we're in 2023, it might be still on 2018. So I pick and choose where I go, and I stand by that. It's not me, it's this, and I make sure I say that, right? So that gives people that hears it, if you have any discrepancy, you got somewhere to go to, right? What do you think about now, how it's still outnumbered? Men pretty much how they pick of the litter with the women that they can procreate with right now, right?
All right.
Women, do you feel that women take the competition as serious as they should?
Right now,
they want 6-figure men, so how do they get a 6-figure man? You know what I mean? Like, are they taking that competition serious?
well, due to all the how can I say it? Due to all the obstacles within our community. And when I say obstacles for a black woman, I want to say about things that they have to go through and experience that a lot of other women don't.
Exactly.
Okay. Say it's Caucasians and Latino women. They don't have to come from a vantage point of not having a male in the home. Most African American homes, it's sad to admit this and sad to say, that they're single parent homes. Mostly the women.
Okay.
And without a father being there or a male figure, I'm not just gonna say a father because sometimes the father don't have to be there. But without a male figure, say a strong uncle or a stepfather, or I don't want to use brother because a brother can be biased sometimes in how they objectively or subjectively look at their sister.
Right.
But I'm saying like a strong father figure. Without that being in the home, she doesn't understand or probably won't fully understand the role of masculinity. So that creates more than a problem. So do they take the competition serious? They begin to look at each other without a male being there even more competition because they don't actually have an idea what the man is looking for. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without a man being there to say, okay,
yeah,
I want a girl that can cook. I want a girl that can clean. I want a girl that goes out and get a job. It may be one man that wants that.
Yeah.
But then you may have a man that has been raised by his mother and she has taken care of him totally. So without having a man in the house, it affects the males too. And so this goes into even the man understanding how to pick a woman. So this is another disadvantage for the black woman. So now her person that she's looking for, he has taken on feminine qualities like his mother.
Yeah.
So he wants to lay in the house all day, probably, not work and have somebody cook for him, clean for him, and take care of him.
Right,
so now she's like,
right.
Okay, what do I want? What type of person do I need? I need somebody to have my back. I need somebody to be my protector. I need somebody to help me provide. But without a man being there on both facets, both outlets, she doesn't know what to expect. Only thing she knows is what she has to see. So that strays along the lines of competition. Sometimes they don't even want men either, period. They'd just rather deal with another woman. And we can see that.
That's ending up terrible. The stats on domestic violence in same-sex relationships, male and female, are through the roof. So heterosexual numbers are lower than the domestic numbers in same-sex. So that's showing that, that's not really the answer right there to people getting along. It's just people not getting along as a whole. So it doesn't matter what kind of couple you choose. A lot of people say they've been abused and they've been this and they've been that, but then they choose the same sex and then they might get abused. It's highly likely that you're going to face some level of abuse in same sex. That's what the statistics show because it's almost 80%. That's damn near like, what, 8 out of 10 relationships?
That's extremely high.
That's extremely high. So these are just numbers that are out there that everybody can look up. But back to the black boys, now that we know that the black boys nowadays for sure are outnumbered, they're unqualified in a lot of ways to be fathers, right, at these early ages, and so are the mothers. I don't just want to throw it on the boys, but we got to look at these girls that choose to have the babies as well, right? Okay. At the end of the day, I think if you can basically break the boy away at an earlier age, you pretty much destroy the man that he could possibly be.
Well,
and this is what the system, I think.
What do you mean when you say break away the black boy? Like break
away let's talk about it. When a child is born, the easiest years and the most informative years and probably the best years of every black boy's life is K through 3rd grade, right? They after 3rd grade, 4th grade, they start slacking off. If you notice, like the grades will start dropping. There's a lot of things that come into play, right? You got the teachers that are teaching. At that age and in most schools, you don't have any male black teachers. You don't have a lot of male teachers, let alone, but you don't have a lot of male black teachers at those ages where these children are making adolescent changes, their body are changing, all kind of things, right? So there's a lot of things going on. We finna take a quick break.
Right, and what is it? It's all about the shits. Either you the shit or you not. And when you the shit, you got the ism. You got the realism, whatever other words you want to use, and you put ism on it. You the shit of that.
Let's go.
All right, man. So I was picking up on the age differences and when a lot of boys, majority, start dropping in grades. Basically, this is the key thing. I noticed it happen in third grade, and this is what statistics say also, third and fourth grade. And then by the time ninth and 12th grade, you know what I mean, comes around, they already on the path that they're on. And two reasons that I think, it was a couple reasons, but the main two reasons that I think that happen this way is because as a child gets older, the less the parent gets involved, right? The parent is less involved. Kindergarten, Head Start, first grade, all these kind of accomplishments, the parents are there. They're supporting them. They making sure the homework is right. They checking everything, getting the child in the routine. And at a certain point, when they see the child is doing the work, their grades coming back okay, kind of fall off. You don't pay attention to the child as much. And then you start doing your thing more and more and more. You start leaving the child there, at home, when they become of age, which is like 12, 10, 11 years old. 10 through 13 are very dangerous years. I remember when I was 10 through 13, me and my friends was doing a lot of dangerous things. But we had that grace period. We didn't have any supervision. And, it was like as long as we weren't doing nothing bad, the parents didn't care. So when you look at fourth grade, you're thinking about 9-year-olds or 12-year-olds at that age group, right? Right now, it pretty much falls in line because we dealing with a cell phone generation. We got watches on in school now, right? You're dealing with a technical era, right? When they get home, they might do their homework. They might do it at school. They might finish it up. Then they go on to play online. My son is guilty of it. Your kids, everybody do it, right? What happens, though, in school for them to become so disinterested? What do you think the reasons are?
It goes back to this. We just briefly discussed it earlier.
Right.
That masculine energy, that father, that male figure being in the home, whether it's from a teacher or a parent, uncle, coach, they need that masculine. Like we went to Simeon.
Yeah.
And at that period of point in time, Miss Graham was the principal. When we had Mr. Everett.
Yeah,
that was the disciplinarian. Man. So if you didn't have a father,
assistant principal, he wasn't playing
with the. You get paddle time.
Yes, sir. Roll them dice.
Yeah,
roll them dice. Get caught with dice and get caught playing dice. You had to roll 3 or 4. So you had consequences and repercussions.
So now this goes back to what you were just talking about. The mother is a nurturer, and she's the first stage educator. Colors. She teaches colors, arithmetic, mathematics,
writing, all that.
She gets them
penmanship.
Introduced to, elementary school.
Yeah.
Now, if you have no father there to reinforce what she has done, and what I mean by to be the disciplinarian.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mother say, Junior did his homework. Junior got a phone. Junior did his homework. Everybody, he's going to lie to his mother. Junior I did my homework, Mom. Okay, so if the father is not there, no male figure is there to say, well, I want to see it.
Yeah, break it out.
See, now it's different because the mother going to accept it. She thinks in her mind, like every mother, I'm raising him a certain type of way. My baby ain't going to do this wrong. My baby not going to lie to me.
Checks it.
Until she checks it. But most women, and I'm not saying it's bad, but most mothers, they have a heavy obligation. Running a household ain't easy. No. Especially if she's an at-home mother. That means she have to take care of the kids. Yep. She have to take care of the meals, preparation. Now just imagine that she has to just do those two things.
On top of
if she has an outside job to help bring in extra finances for the house.
Gotta do something. Gotta have a side hustle.
So
going here, Uber.
Now she's controlling all of this without no man. So the key to that element is the father or the man figure.
Mm-hmm.
Now he comes in and he stands on everything that he knows she can't cover.
Yep.
Hey, look, where that homework at? Let me see it. Now he has to, oh my God, Daddy want to check it. Or Uncle Buck want to check it. Yeah, break it out. Let me see.
Consequences.
Yeah. Now, if he lied to Uncle Buck, he don't want whatever disciplinary action is going to come. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be physical. It don't have to be the belt.
Yeah.
If you living in this technical era right now, I'm gonna give away a few keys with my own kids. I don't like to whoop them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you take that phone or that tablet away.
Yeah, man.
I'm talking about they act like the world is over with.
Ain't nothing
it's
to
like,
do.
let me see your homework. No homework. Well, you don't need to play with the tablet. I'm gonna take that TV. I'm gonna take that tablet. I'm gonna take that Nintendo Switch, and I'm taking it away from the mother because she'll give it back. I'm taking it, putting it in the trunk of my car.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now, if he knows this or if she knows this, they're gonna be like, "Let me do my homework. Let me take my time and make sure it's right because I don't want to hear this dude's mouth."
You know what that speaks of? I wrote down 4 things that I think parents should put in their repertoire. And you know what's crazy? That's one of them. And they all are C's, right? Parents should have a caring aspect. One thing parents should be, though, is consistent. Another thing is we should give children choices. We should have choices in our repertoire, right? The last thing was consequences, is what you're talking about, right? So I think all 4 of those have to be in a good parent. And not saying that you're a bad parent if you don't have all 4 of those, but if you're not implementing all 4 of those in some arena, how do you discipline your child without consequences? You got to have consequences.
Absolutely.
So with them doing things wrong, with them doing things right, you don't have no problem with rewarding them. They don't have no problem with asking either. That's the thing. They know that they've been doing wrong in school, but they will still ask you for the PlayStation 6 that's finna come out. You know what I mean? That's $800 because it's cordless and, all these gimmicks and shit that they get the kids with. Fine and dandy. But listen, I don't have a problem getting that for you if you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Right? So there's no consequences. The consequences even in school have lightened. They don't suspend kids no more. They don't do in-school suspension no more. There's no consequences in school. And I think that's a lack, too, in why the schools have been included for so many years in the school-to-prison pipeline. Right? You look at school buses and prison buses, it's the same. You look at how schools used to get, they lunch trays and things of that nature, if they still handing out lunch trays. It's the same as prison. You know what I mean? So a lot of ways that schools have been implemented to act and function, it's not healthy for the child or the children that are going there because the education is not there. There's no competition in education. Another C that we don't incorporate and we've taken out of children. Children used to compete in gym, right? I remember when I was in gym, we had periods that would play basketball against each other. Whoever won against this period, they would get signed out. Then they would play us, and if they won, they kept getting signed out. And it was a whole thing. But wrote this down. We celebrate athletes and don't reward the academics.
Because
why is that? Now talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about that because that's a serious problem. All the athletes in school were never always the smartest. Some of them were okay students. I was an okay student, but I was okay and better in a lot of areas than most students were. Right, but most players that could really play on teams weren't that great in academics. Why don't we celebrate academics like we do athletes?
Because knowledge leads to power.
Okay,
and in this arena, I mean this here. Knowledge leads to power, and power leads to control. So if you limit academics, basic, like I said, arithmetic, if you don't enhance the thinking capability of an individual and just keep them physical, it's easy to control a physical person, even if he's stronger.
Yeah.
Because his mind can't understand what's going on. The danger isn't a guy that's 6'7", 300 pounds and muscular and just a brute. Because if you can lock him away in a room and he don't want to get out, he's defeated.
Yeah.
If he can't outthink you, he's defeated. So in this generation right here, where they slow down on competition and they slow down on these aspects that we had to go through, is because they don't want you to compete. They don't want that competition, and they don't want it based upon. And I don't want to sound like I'm coming.
Hold it right there. We finna take a break. We'll be right back. Hold it right there. You go pick up when we come.
Jaja Smith, zevinheaven@gmail.com, zevinheaven at Instagram, zevinheaven Facebook, Jaja Smith Facebook, Jaja Smith 20 Instagram. I have the cupcakes that you need. I have the cupcakes that you want in all the flavors, any flavor that you can imagine. Chocolate chip cookies, any type of sweet treats. That's why it's Zevin Sweet Treats, y'all. Mobile, if you want to call me, area code 872-225-2680. That's 872-225-2680.
Where you left off, bro?
All right. What I was talking about earlier, he was talking about like why is competition not promoted among the kids. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. It's like, and I don't want to seem like I was saying, I don't want to seem like I'm being racist.
Nah, go for it. Go for it.
But I gotta be. We gotta talk truth, right?
You gotta talk truth, man.
We talk truth to power.
That's right.
If you go back and look at the history of blacks in America, we have been some of the most prolific inventors, architects, designers, and creators. Naturally, given this.
Yeah.
So, if at this stage of development, we have been through the crack era, we have been through so many things, Jim Crow, slavery, our mental capacity and morale has been broken.
Yeah.
So, of course, now the playing field is a disadvantage against us because everybody else has caught up or exceeded right here.
Yeah.
But if you make, if you were to go back and let's say we start over, well, we can't start over.
No,
it's disadvantage right now.
Yeah.
So of course they don't want to compete right now. Of course they don't want to talk about history right now because if you go back in history and you look at how many patents were signed off by black people of some of the most genius inventions ever.
Yeah.
Traffic light, gas mask, shoes, light bulb.
Yeah.
Who at that particular time would want to compete on a fair scale then? We have to put some stumbling blocks in front of them that they have to go through to break down their morale and their mental capacity. So now they don't want to push it still because you know why? Because if you push competition now, the world is woke. And when I mean woke, it's not woke to the point of like, you know, everything's just free.
Yeah.
I'm saying consciously woke where we know the government will play games. We know racism exists.
Yeah.
We know that black communities were redlined. We know Tulsa was burned to the ground.
Yeah.
And this information is open now. Like you can't hide slavery right now. They're trying to hide slavery to the point that they don't really act like it existed.
Yeah, they erasing it.
They're trying to erase it.
Yeah, they erasing it. Because nobody in the younger generation is caring enough to really pay attention and still talk about these things and keep these things relevant. You know what I mean?
But that's why it's on us. It's on us as being black males, black men, and keeping this like we know better. We can't become emotional.
Yeah.
We have to be logical thinkers.
Yeah.
We can't let them erase something that affected us.
Yeah.
You know, they'll try to do it because they don't want to be the bad. Because now you got to look at it like they did some horrible things. You know, and I'm not saying it's called Europeans. You know what I'm saying? Europeans did some horrible things to blacks. But most importantly, Kanye West said something and it was like, well, we accepted slavery. And everybody got mad at him. But we didn't just accept it, but it was a lot of us that played our own hand into our own demise.
Yeah.
We sold each other out.
Yeah.
And that's a given. So before you correct the outside forces, you have to correct those that's on the inside to help sell us out.
Yeah.
To help put us in that condition. So now we talking about why we don't compete, and these are reasons why they don't want to push.
That's a form of competition, though, right there. Selling your enemy out.
I mean, but
people did that in the form of snitching to the police on their enemy if they was working with the police, right? Who the first person you gonna get rid of? Your enemy. If you selling crack, you gonna get rid of the crack seller across town that's hitting your pocket and causing you competition. You gonna get rid of your biggest competition. So in a way, you could look at competition. Competition is always good.
Yeah.
Because without competition, how good are you?
Fact.
You could be good on your block, right? And you could be good at your park you play ball at. But until you go to other parks and you play against the best player that they got, he might not be the same size as you. He might not, but he better in this area. You better in another area until y'all meet up on that court and bring them skills together. Who knows who park is better? Who knows who superstar is better until y'all meet up and y'all play more than one game? more than one time on Sunday.
But let me go back and reiterate this, and I'm not being
Bring it
biased.
home. Bring it
I'm
home.
not being biased or racist. But if we go back and let's look at the genetics, it's been proven that black gene is a very dominant, strong gene. So now, because we have to have a level playing field now. We have to have a fair playing field because everybody's watched.
Break it down.
So if we make the playing field level, we're going to keep it everybody equal. No racing, no red,
No
black,
financial. Okay.
no nothing.
Okay.
We balance this out. And you give black people another 10 years of no outside interference to hold us back. We will have possibly gained 50 years within our community. And what I mean by that is if you don't have all these outside conditions, even the migrants that come in, that's an outside condition because they took resources from us that we were supposed to get and they giving it away. So it's always a step where something
stumbling block, like you say, yeah.
But even with the migrants here, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? If we start to construct our community based upon the alpha males, the stronger males, the males that have been through it, that understand the game. And when I say alpha, I don't just mean physically strong. I'm talking about the brothers that are mentally strong.
But those are the most hated because those are the masculine brothers.
Okay, but listen. And even though they are hated,
so we still got to stick together. And that's what I'm glad you said that. And that's the call that needs to also be reiterated, is that the masculine men have still got to stick together. Right? Masculine men cannot just sit back and say, oh, they hating on us. If we say anything, they go black man. All that.
Well,
still got to stick together.
And it's funny you bring that up because that's the situation we face. Me and you have talked about a lot of things over the phone. So that's the situation that we face. And it's the fear. But fear what? You know what I'm saying? It's like we've had conversation. I said, look, man, everything that I'm doing is not for me. Mm-hmm. I have 4 children, 3 boys and a girl. So if I don't step forward and deal with some of these things and get them corrected, they'll have to do it. So it's like, do I want my mentally undeveloped son, not to say he's not smart, but he doesn't have the experience and the knowledge that I have of living life. Right. Why would I want him to step up and try to fight for me? Mm-hmm. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. You don't even know the playing field. So that's why I'm so hard on the older guys that came up in the 80s and the 70s and some in the 90s that sacrificed the youth. Man, get Shorty the pack, get Shorty the pistol, put him on the block.
Because now he the comfortable Negro now. Now he's sitting back in the house that's paid for off the crack. Kids that went to school. He got the car. He got the Harley. He got the boats. He got all the little toys and bells and whistles, but didn't bring nobody with him when he went to the steel mill.
But I'm gonna say this here. It was a group of individuals, right? They got taken away at that time, and I'm talking about these black men got taken away in the early 90s, the 90s period. Okay. So while this development of this new culture was going on, the ones that knew, they weren't here. They were doing 20-year bits, 30-year bits, 13-year bits. But guess what? They are home now, and they know. And that's a factor that nobody
under Reaganomics and all that.
The Reaganomics, the crack era. Mm-hmm. People can get down on Trump. Trump released all these guys.
Yeah, Trump released a lot of people.
So Trump released a lot of these guys that know the game now.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of these guys, you know, they've changed their life. They're moving in a positive direction, and that's more dangerous. That's more
very dangerous.
That's more dangerous than them hitting the block because they know the game. And they have the mentality. But I'm going to stop right there because I see.
Yeah, we finna take a break real quick. We're coming right back.
I'm going to go back in and finish.
We're going to keep building on this because this is so detrimental. We need to talk about it and we need to make. And we got solutions. Hold on.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the American Dream, the American Nightmare, the Heartbreak Kid, Young Baka. And when I come to Chicago, I check in, I get on the radio with the Shits Podcast. One more time, man. Give a big shout out to the Shits Podcast. Young Baka Productions, man. Holla us. We out here.
We back. I'm gonna let my brother pick off what he was late because he was dropping some dimes and gems, so we go call them jimes. Keep dropping them jimes.
No, what I was saying before is that most of the guys, most of the black males and Latino males, and even a few Caucasian males, that were incarcerated during the late '80s and all of the '90s, some of the early 2000s.
Okay.
They were taken away during the crack era.
Right.
Crack laws formulated by Joe Biden were some of the most extreme laws.
Ooh, they forgotten that, didn't they? They
And-
put him in office.
Yeah. And so Donald Trump released a lot of them. And a lot of these brothers know the game now. And they're home. And they're coming home.
Yeah.
So when you add this element, they see the conditions in the community. Some of them are chilling and relaxing. But that is the call that we need to make to the black community. Most of these guys that came home from jail, you need to step up and
Get active.
and
In the
sacrifice
community.
for the community.
That's right.
I know some of you guys are old. Well, I'm old, and
They out the way. A lot of them are trying to get back active in their family lives because they miss so much time, and that is understandable and also commendable. We not. Don't get it wrong. We not telling you that what you're doing when you getting back in tune with you gotta do that.
facts.
That's who was there for you when you was gone. So don't get it twisted. You gotta do that. But guess who else you owe? Nigga, all them pounds, all them keys, all them spoons of dope, whatever you did, give back to that same community that you took all that money from, fixed all them cars up front. You see what I'm saying? That's why I be telling people, you gotta give back. You owe that. Everybody owes something. We don't walk through earth for free, bro.
Let me and it's
We don't walk through earth for free.
facts. And let me just say this about that.
That's real talk.
And I want to say this and be clear.
I know you're going to elaborate some good shit on this. I'm ready.
Drugs and crime is never a way of a career.
Never a good career.
Okay.
Never a good career.
If you study history, what most people don't know, if you study history, and I'm gonna use a very prominent American family, Irish American family. If you look at the Kennedys,
Okay.
during the time of Prohibition, I wasn't there, but history books that I've read that said the father of the Kennedy family was a bootlegger.
Yeah. Alcohol.
But now look at his children.
Prohibition.
Prohibition.
Yeah.
Look at his children that have became successful, very successful political figures.
Oh, my God.
Both of his
Presidents.
both his sons were assassinated.
The bootleggers' kids.
Yeah. So God rest their spirits in heaven or
Nothing
wherever
against
it
the
may be.
Kennedys now. Nothing against the
against
Kennedys.
Kennedys. I'm just using
We
that
just using them as an example.
as an example of in every community there has been crime. If you look back, the Italians when they came over here, the immigrants, they had to go through the
Mafia?
Irish, yeah, they went through it. But look at their communities. That's saying that the bad guys, not the good people, the bad guys cultivated a community so that the people could be basic. Because the bad guys are the one that control crime.
Right.
Okay, so we saying the typical bad guys.
Yeah.
So if the bad guys go to jail and they control crime, they're the criminals. They get to choose who they're gonna sell crack to. And you brought up some with heroin. They can say, okay, those other communities that I just named, Irish, Latinos, and Italian, most of their drugs that they profited off of were sold in black communities.
Never to their own people.
Right, never to their own people. So, and the ones that did sell it to their own people, the ones that are their coaches that became addicted to drugs, they, were outcasts.
Of course. Kicked out, pushed out the community.
And they came, some of them came and linked up in black communities and got with black women and black men that had children. And so
yeah, welcomed in.
They're welcome in. So the thing about this is very pivotal. Crime within the black community has never been controlled by us. It's always been outside forces. Yeah. And when you had gentlemen that did try to stand up for the community, and I'm going to bring these names up, free them into the day I die. When you have an individual like a Larry Hoover that needs to be released, when you have an individual like Jeff Ford that needs to be released, when you have Gino or the Latin Kings that needs to be released immediately, because these were not adult males when they were adult males by age. Yeah, Larry Hoover 23, Jeff Ford 30, Gino and them they in their 30s. They went to jail in state prisons first before the feds came and got them. But these weren't mental brains that were fully developed. Yeah, they were still living in a time where America wasn't so friendly to black people and Latino people, especially those that came from, ghettos.
Come on, talk about it
You
now.
have to go back and consider their freedom as if you saying you want to make the playing field equal, you have to let these individuals out, not because they still control anything. As you can see, the streets run themselves.
Yeah.
They don't control anything. But me being a father, when you look at the children of them, because my Facebook, I see the kids of Larry Hoover.
Yeah.
You see, Wakita.
Yep.
When you see these men and they had to grow without their father.
Yeah.
They went through some of the same things that their fathers experienced.
Yeah.
Right now is a time that you need to release their father so they can have a father and son bonding time. If
But
America
that's not the judicial system.
Well, listen.
Break that down.
You have to release them immediately if you say it's not a part of the judicial system.
But it's a part of the way of life right now, though. See, I see where you're going now.
Now you see.
Now
if
you
got to go back and right your wrongs. You can't say, well, we have to look at this kid psychologically now because he went through X, Y, Z, and this. Well, those were kids when they went through what they went through.
Yeah.
In the 1960s and 50s in Chicago, the racism that Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford and Gino and them experienced from Italians,
Yeah.
from Irish gangs,
Yeah.
from Sicilian gangs, and you want to keep it fair, you have to keep it fair in this day and time. Those individuals need to be released, not because they have power, but because they need to bond with their children.
Now let me throw a spin in on that same point you're making. Why is that very unpopular? Because we are the pawns that the game is placed upon. We are the people that all the rules are based and made upon. We are the people that, okay, if any you have you noticed that anything we come up on, they quickly make a law to shut that down. So anywhere you was making money, they shut that down. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna say it like this: any way you come up making money, they shut it down and figure out a way to make it taxable. Then they legitimize it. So, like,
now you can't make money because everybody else finna jump in on your avenue.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say this right here.
Competition. We talking about that again.
Okay, we talking about competition, and we also talking about this now. Understanding what we talked about, education, knowledge. If you understand that, okay, if I come up with an idea, and before I tell the world about my idea, I'm gonna see how to get it patented. So now I got patent.
Who do you run it by first to tell you about getting it patented? Because you don't know about getting it patented. You just got a good idea
about getting it patented. Well, like this phone. You can look it up. How do I get things patented? They'll tell you, man. You can send your ideas to the Library of Congress. If you don't have money, you know what I'm saying. You can figure out. Okay, well, sometimes lawyers have free consultation.
There you go.
I'm gonna go to a lawyer that says, if I'm offering free consultation for the first time you come and visit me, I'm gonna give you advice on what you're trying to do. Look, man, you're a lawyer. I'm trying to patent an idea. How do I get it done? You don't have to tell them formally the lawyer the idea. You just have to figure out how to get it patented. He may say, man, you can go through X, Y, Z to do this, and do this. And some lawyers even work with you. Yeah. Hey, look, man, I'll help you get it patented for you. I charge $3,000. If you give me a retainer of $1,000 and give me $500 a month, so you pay off the $3,000.
I'll look out for you.
And then I'll look out for you. Most lawyers.
One question a month.
Yeah. Not even a question. It's just like, when I pay this $3,000, you're going to make sure I push through all the proper paperwork. When I bring you this idea, it's signed on, it's legit. You know what I'm saying? With a disclosure that you can't tell nobody about this idea I'm developing. Okay. And help me make it legit. 9 times out of 10, if you have a lawyer that's real business savvy and you have a good enough idea and they say, okay, well, you could pay me for this and pay me for that. They have friends that'll be invested.
Yeah.
They be like, oh, this might, hey, look, matter of fact, I'm going to help you patent it. Let me get such and such ownership of it. So it's different ways, but I'm just going to say this in non-closing, but before we take a break, if you have an idea, before you tell the world about it, get it patented. That's very
Before you tell anybody.
Before you tell anybody. Develop
Research
it in your crib, get it patented, then you can talk about bringing it to the world, so can't nobody cheat you out of your money.
That's it. We going to a break. We coming right back with some key points. Let's go reiterate what this brother just dropped. Coming right back, man. The much needed podcast.
Soon, Bubba Ball. It's the but I can't say that,
2, 1. All right, man. So we've been breaking a lot of things down. Listen, what I remember is when my shorties, both of them, they now 12 and 13, One finna be 12 in December. The other one's 13, finna graduate, going into high school. I remember being involved a lot more when both of them were K through third grade. I'm still involved with the teachers because I drop them off and pick them up from school. Anything that their mother can't go to, I'm there. She does a lot of local school counsel via phone now. You know, they don't do a lot of things in person still no more due to COVID. But I remember being involved more as they were younger. Now, elementary school, they still in there. It's 30%. I drop them off and pick them up. I'm still involved when they have things, assemblies and things like that. I got to make time, though. It's not time efficient for parents that are working. And that's another thing that I, understand where a lot of parents are coming from, because they, too, have to provide for their lifestyle, which incorporates their children that they have, right? As they get into high school, though, that's when the involvement is dwindling. Like now, you get to about 30% in elementary school, 40%. High school is like 15 and 20% because, again, it's still in that time frame. You can hold the parents accountable, but the parents will come right back with, I have to, boo, 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 woo. You know what I mean? So like you said earlier, you can't alleviate the life's pressures, right? Those are life's pressures, bills, providing, having a car to pick the children up, gas for the car, oil changes, what you finna go do, brakes, all these things have to be integrated in life. But guess what? That's life. Everybody has to do that, right? So when you add children in the mix, people don't understand it when they do it at a young age. Right now, this is where I feel the injustice is coming from male and female, is we're not reiterating how hard it is to actually raise a child properly, even in the climate that we've been chosen given. So by the time that these children get to high school, we're really less involved with our children. Our children have became whatever they pretty much wanted to become from 8th grade to freshman, sophomore, junior year, senior year. If they still in school, you lucky. Where do we go right now once we've broken down all the things we've broken down? Okay. The information that we've talked about, how do we get in tune with our children more effectively? I think we have to get down on their level, right? Remember what it was like to be that age, and now they're that age in this society. That's the caveat in being a parent right now, is our children are way more advanced than we were at their age. So we have to really relearn our children almost at a certain standpoint. But we can't be strangers to our children, right? So I said that as our children get older, we show them less attention. That's the danger in society right now, is us showing our teenage children and our preteens less attention as we showed them more attention growing up. So I think they need us more as they get older. You know what I mean? We still need to pay that attention. What you think about that?
I'm gonna say this like I said it before, and this is not, I don't want to offend any women.
You ain't offending nobody. We talking facts right now.
It's been a proven fact,
okay,
that a child growing up in a single mother household isn't the same compared to growing up in a single father household. And what I'm trying to say right here in that sense is the men have to become more active. We have to stop putting it all on the women. We have to start asking those simple questions. Hey man, your room clean up in there? Because the sound of our voice makes a child react. It's like, it's not, hey, how you doing, baby? It's like, hey man, what you doing over there? They immediately.
Yeah.
This is proven
on the phone.
This is proven in nature.
Yeah.
You see the commercial with the Doberman pigeons. The little Doberman was snapping at the mama. The daddy came over, run. What do you do?
Shut up, fast. Bent his head down and ran under the mama.
And that's what makes nature so important. That's what makes getting back to your
law order, the law order,
divine order.
Yeah, divine
order of having. I'm not gonna go into like deep religion, but you have to have a spiritual relationship with the Creator in some type of way, with whoever your Creator is, because that helps you understand nature. So once you understand nature and you're a male, You know what I'm saying? And you have to be real clear when I say male. When I say male, I mean a man that was born with a
Naturally
phallus.
born.
Naturally born with a phallus.
male, yeah.
I'm not, because if I use the term men, it's a lot of people that say, I'm a man, I'm a trans.
They want to adopt that term
and I'm not
now.
going to get
Do
off
what you
into
want to
that.
do right now, but yeah,
But
we're
yeah.
not talking about that.
Right. I'm just saying the
Creators of life,
men, yes, they have to,
genitalia,
yes,
sperm producers,
exactly.
sack carriers.
They
Real talk.
they have to take more of a role in being like what we can't and cannot do.
And tolerate.
And
But see, here's the thing too. One reason why that has always been hard is because we have been the only community that's the most policed. We're the most policed on the red light cameras. We're the most policed on traffic stops. We the most policed on any and everything because crime has been so heavily implemented in our community. So that has a lot to do with brothers trying to take back their community. Go ahead.
I want to say something about that, right?
Go ahead.
Like even though we're most heavily policed and the police are heavy in our community, the Judas is like some people call them stool pigeons. I don't want to call them rats or stool pigeons because that takes away the whole
Paradigm.
Yeah, the whole presence of it. This is a human being. He's not a rat that's coming in the sewer. This is a guy that walks up and down the street every day. He participates in whatever he's participating in within the community. When he gets caught up, he tells on the functioning of it.
Now, whose fault is it to keep him in the loop to where he knows something?
That is the criminal fault. Because they drawing off, like I told you, back in the 80s and 90s, they started bringing more adolescents in. A kid whose brain isn't fully developed.
Okay.
So if your brain isn't fully developed and you don't understand crime, you don't understand law, you don't know what you're getting into. And this comes back even from the days of the leaders.
Yeah.
Like I say, Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, and Gino, those were three genius individuals at their time because they had to protect the community and they were teenagers when they started most of those organizations. If you go back and even look at David Barksdale, that's 14 years old. Those were children. Their brain wasn't fully developed into understand all the things that came with being a man.
Right.
So that's a disadvantage. And then as this continued on in history and it gets younger and younger kids are getting involved in the street, I mean, how do you expect that? If you look right now on YouTube, they got all these babies, these younger brothers that have been forced into a life of crime. And when they get caught, the first thing they do, they tell. Man, this and this and this, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah.
What you expect them to do?
What you expect them to do when they haven't been cultivated to be in that? They didn't come from a society where, the man was the head of the household.
Right.
Every male, 80% of the youth and the people that's in the streets, they don't belong there. They weren't cultivated to be there.
No.
They are most so in the African American community. And I'm not gonna say it. Well, I could say African American, but I'm gonna make it real simple. The black community, they were forced into this lifestyle in order to survive.
That's it. It's a survival. So here's a question: survival and living. What's the difference?
I think surviving, you're gonna take anything you can to sustain life. When you're living, you understand what you're doing to sustain life. Like you understand the roles of becoming, having a career over basically just having money.
There you go.
A person that's trying to survive just want money. A person that wants a career understands that I'm going to school to gain knowledge for occupation that's going to carry me through life. A person with money just want money right now so they can buy them a cheeseburger and eat and not starve to death.
Man, we coming right back, man. We gonna give y'all some food for thought. And man, it's been real, but I want y'all to really listen to this and talk about some issues that we got going on in our community like we've been talking about in discussion with solutions. So we be right back, man. Much needed podcast.
If you're looking for great coffee, come visit Andy Sunflower Cafe, located at 9920 Southwestern Avenue in the Beverly neighborhood, or 756 East 111th Street in the Pullman neighborhood. Again, Andy Sunflower Cafe, black owned for all your gourmet coffee needs.
Back at it, man. We talked about a lot of things and a lot of problems. Of course, the Bears they lost again after doing so good. So what's going on with us nowadays is we need some solutions. We know all the problems. We know everything that's plaguing us. right? The main thing that we talked about is the men that were not led properly to be men. How do they become men right now, right? We need them to understand what they've done, if they've done anything, and how to just be men from this point on, right? We know that it's a conspiracy in the education system, which everybody goes through some way, shape, or form. How do you feel that we need to come about with the solution? What is the solution if you have one? What do you feel the solution is? I'm gonna leave it to you. You go drop your info, then we go get up out of here, man.
What we need in the black community within America, we need to cultivate a society of clear-minded, logical thinking men that are willing to sacrifice their lives for the children, especially if they have children of their own.
Yeah, there we go.
So once you
There we
have
go.
that of men that are clear-minded, they're conscious of everything that goes on within the structure of America, everything that has gone on, then we create think tanks. And we also, the second thing we need after we get these men together, we need our women that are true women that have, they've maybe been through some things, but they're willing to say, you know what, we've had this, we've ran with it for a long time. We see the condition of our community, and I'm going to give this guy a chance. They have to give us a chance because we need the women.
Yeah.
The women have to give us a chance and trust us
To lead.
Now they've led,
Look what it got them. Look what it got us. Look what it got them.
They've led for the last, I'm gonna say, since the 70s. So they've led for the
Give them the
last
50 years. Let's give them 50 years.
Let's give them 50 years.
Let's give them 50 years.
They've just led for the last 50 years. And you see the condition in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not putting all the blame on them, but they've had the leadership role.
They gotta take that blame because they've proudly accepted the role of being independent, and that's still being pushed, which is not a good role. Being independent parents is not a good role. It's not statistically proven to work, as we've seen. So they cannot exercise men out of that, but we have to fight for that when we shouldn't have to.
That's key.
We shouldn't have to, but the stakes are high enough to where we have to have a bigger role in our community to where we have an impact on our children and others' children.
I'm going to say it like this. The men, sometimes we going to have to tuck our emotions and ignore the women and just take care of the babies. And I can promise you this. Once the women see us nurturing the children properly, that changes their whole outlook on us.
Yeah.
Because they could be the most independent woman in the world. That seed that sat inside that womb for 9 months, they connected to him. And they be like, oh my God. And the babies be like, I love my daddy.
Yeah, they recognize real.
So when the babies say, man, I love my daddy. Or
They
where's my
recognize
daddy?
real.
I call my daddy, mom. I want to talk to my daddy. That changed her whole outlook on you.
Yeah. It should.
And that's throughout society. Like, how do you know a good person from a bad person? And this is just using some spiritual ideology that people throw at you. It was told to me as a kid, as a young adult growing up, if you walk in a room and a baby turn away from a person, that person got something on them. You don't wanna be around.
Yeah.
But if a baby run to you and hug on you and laugh and want to come to you and they just not seeing you, you got a good spirit.
You got a good spirit on you. Yeah,
Same thing
ain't
they
nothing
say
on
with
you
animals.
that's going to keep a kid away or an animal away. Yup.
Same thing they say with
A cat or a dog or a kid. Those are three things. A young child, not a kid, because that's a baby goat. But a young child and any animal, four-legged cat, dog, anything like that, fish don't count. So don't try to use that shit. But yeah, when those kind of things that feel spirits and feel how good you are as a person, you're not evil, you're not radiating anything up off of you, yeah, you're going to be welcomed by all things that's living, walking this earth. Man, where can people, tap in tune to what you got going on, because you're doing everything.
On all social media, man, you can go to Crow From The Go. That's CRO space FRMDAGO. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram. That's on TikTok. That's on every platform that I could possibly get on. You know,
And-
go and look up Crow from the Gun.
Now, briefly, before you get up out of here, you doing logistics, right?
Yes, I have a transportation company.
So for people that, if you trying to start out or you trying to do anything, man, look, this is a person that you can, you know what I mean, get in tune with. Now, how y'all arrange that and passing knowledge is up to you and him. You understand what I'm saying? But this person is very knowledgeable, as you can see. So I didn't mind having him on to talk about a couple of topics that I had that I wanted to talk about. I want to thank my man Durs for making these things possible, a.k.a. Gorilla Glue. Appreciate you for everything you do. You know what I mean? Without these things, man, without this setup, none of this would be possible. This is an outlet that we have that, you know what I mean, this brother gives us to utilize and bring our thoughts to fruition. Like I said, man, we gave y'all some problems, but we also hit y'all with some solutions. Make sure that you get these male influences in all your children's lives. It's very important. You made them, so you're responsible for them. Why not make the best out of the situation? Do everything that you can to make the best version of you. And if you have a mini version of you, do the better version of that you can. Give it a all because you created them and you made them. I'm Bubba Ball, signing off, man. I'm going to catch y'all next time with some more topics and things that you can use that our community need. I'm gone, man. Solutions, no pollution. Peace. Till next time.